Let's begin. It's the win. Listen, laugh, and learn and understand. Hope, believe that you can. It's the Women's Information Network. It's the win.
Welcome to the Win Show. We are so glad you joined us. I'm Paula Fellingham, CEO of the Women's Information Network. It's thewinonline.com. We're the online home for all women, all ages, a community of women helping women live joyful lives filled with passion and purpose. Our hosts today are Angela Johnson. She's the CEO of the Illuminated Woman and Biz Divas. Laura Lee Christensen is the Executive Vice President of The Win. And Kim Coles, she is a fabulous actress, comedian, speaker, and show host. Our guest today is Donna Root. She's a corporate and interpersonal communications expert. She's devoted the last 15 years to understanding the mechanisms that make people, leaders, and organizations more powerful and effective. She's developed the Take a Quantum Leap Personal and Corporate Empowerment Program, which provides the tools and methods to direct our lives and corporate cultures to intentionally align to our purpose, and in doing so, become more effective, powerful, and more fulfilled. Wow, we are so excited about
We can be done now. That's all we needed to say.
It is an impressive resume. We are so excited to have you. And with 15 years of research and consulting behind you, I just can't wait to hear what you have to share. What tips, what ideas do you have to share with women to help them achieve personal and professional excellence?
Do you know?
That's a high.
Yeah, it's a lofty goal.
Yeah.
I have learned through my 15 years that we are so much more alike and so much more similar than we believe. That we really are
Meaning
the same.
I agree.
All women.
Women and people in general. It doesn't, the things that we struggle with in life are cross-cultural, they cross financial affluence, you know, families and health and businesses and children, and we just really are the same.
We are.
And when we understand that we really have this common struggle, we can learn better from each other and the stories that we tell.
Absolutely.
We were talking before the show began that, and this is what I found intriguing, that you said we have more in common than we have different, and you said even we have things in common with Donald Trump. I was looking at him and I go, there's nothing we have in common.
We do.
Other than we're human beings. What do we have in common with Donald Trump?
We do. Do you know he struggles with the same things we struggle with?
Yeah,
he
everybody
has
does.
family issues. He has a wife.
And has had several.
He's had many.
In-law
He has the same
problems.
struggles, whether we believe it or not, that we have. He has
children.
insecurities and he has inadequacies, and he has beliefs that are hidden within him the same way that we do.
Everyone
he
does.
has stories that he tells, and inside those stories are belief systems that are barriers to him succeeding better than he already
So
has.
you help us go in there and dig those things out and work on them and succeed.
Actually, we don't have to dig. When we just naturally tell the stories that we tell, we find those beliefs embedded in those stories.
Oh, I love that.
So what does that look like? When you how do you tell the story? I mean, it's not just simple, is it?
It really is simple. One of the things that we're able to learn now, we've learned more in the last 30 years in science than we've learned in the last 500 years. And what we understand now is that we're the same as stuff, which doesn't sound wonderful, but we're the same
Explain
as stuff. Yeah. When you look at us through a microscope, whether we're looking at a pen or whether we look at us, we're just vibrating particles of energy, which means that we're governed by the same laws of motion that stuff is. And so when we understand that, we can understand that our stories that really are just opposing force paradoxes that are based on these quantum laws and these universal laws of motion. When we have a belief and we have a desire that are incongruent, we create an opposing force paradox in our lives. And those play out in our stories. And when you see how those play out, then you can understand when you're putting yourself, I call them opposing force paradoxes, but when we're putting ourselves between a rock and a hard place.
I like that.
Basically.
I like that.
And so when we tell the stories, we really can see what our beliefs are inside those stories.
So when our beliefs and our actions don't match, we've got disharmony.
We have
And we-
incongruence.
Incongruencies.
We're out of alignment.
And we
Yeah.
feel that, and it colors everything we do.
Sometimes we don't feel it, and they are just present. And it takes somebody looking at it to see what it is.
So how would you know that about yourself if you're out of alignment?
We find it in our...
How do you feel that? How do you...
We find those in the stories. What we call it an opposing force paradox, but what we are told in manifesting is that if we desire something really big and we feel really good about it and we look out there towards that thing, that we can manifest what we want. And that's not true. If our desires and our beliefs are incongruent, we will always, always, always manifest what we believe and not what we desire. So it's imperative that we find out what those beliefs are, which play themselves out through stories.
So work on the beliefs.
If someone's saying, I want $1 million and I want it by this date, and yet you don't really believe that you could get that. I mean, this has been
But they
part
play
of
out in
what's
stories.
happened.
An example would be like one of the CEOs, a single CEO that I'm working with.
All right.
He was telling me that his desire was to be married.
Okay.
He desires to have a healthy, functioning marriage. He's currently single. And I asked him why. Why are you not married? And his story is that I don't have enough time. I really love my job. I'm very fulfilled. On and on and on. And then he said, and all the women are the same. And I said, that's your belief. Your desire is to be married. You're in an opposing force paradox. So the telling of our stories reveals these opposing force paradoxes.
This is so interesting.
And once you align those, and you're moving in the same direction, we're working with the third law of motion, which is, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So we cannot work with opposing forces. So once our desires and beliefs are heading in the same direction, we can then manifest at the speed of thought, and everything changes.
You're talking about these opposing forces, so is it difficult for a person to overcome those or to learn just in general when there are those opposing forces? What would you recommend to bring those into alignment or into congruence?
Listen to your stories. The stories that people tell reveal everything about themselves. So listen to the stories that you're telling and find the beliefs that are behind them. Understand what the beliefs are and recognize and redefine. Awareness is a quantum leap. If you're aware of something, you can change it. It isn't until we're aware that we have this incongruency that we can do anything about it. But once we're aware, everything changes.
She's going to have a show in the wind, isn't she? I need her to have a show in the wind so I can learn how to do that.
It's crazy magic.
Okay, good. I
Talk
need
to us
that.
about the opposing force paradox. What is the paradox?
The paradox is that we want something
Okay.
and we believe something different.
Okay. And then
And that's our, and we create a story
There it is.
around that
Okay.
to really reconcile the difference.
I
So
love it.
rather than being aware of what we're doing, we hide those things inside our stories. So an attorney that I was working with, it's a CEO, she wanted to create, she was working with an all-male group. And she did not have an assistant. And she wanted to work at home for a couple days. And she'd hired me to come and do a consultation with her. And I asked her if she liked her job and the group that she worked for and who she was working with, and she said she loved it. Went on and on and on about why you're trying to switch and why you're trying to do these different things. And she said, well, I just don't think I'm going to be taken seriously.
There we go.
Inside the story.
Was the truth.
And so I asked if she'd asked for these things, and we redefined what we wanted to, and once her belief and her desire were aligned, she simply went and asked, and nobody had even recognized that, that there was a deficiency in her except for her.
Yes.
So everything magically works out fine when we are able to recognize and uncover those hidden barriers that prevent us from being our highest and best
I
self.
And so
love
your vision
this.
for your show, you're going to break this down into doable pieces.
Doable
and
pieces,
Yeah.
very really
help
And
us
the name
learn.
of the show?
take a quantum leap, personal and corporate empowerment. We do it in
Take
our
a
companies
quantum
as
leap.
well. So
I love it. I love it.
Great.
All right. And it's gone so quickly. It's time to close. Thank you so much
You're
for
so
being
welcome.
with us. Absolutely.
Thank you.
We invite you to visit thewinonline.com, where you'll get solutions, share ideas, and really connect with women worldwide. Have a wonderful day and choose to live joyfully with passion and purpose.
It's the Women's Information Network. It's the win.